next one, then I'm gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stand up, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain that I bring. You know it's only the beginning. Step up, cause you're the next one, then I'm gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting.
What's going on, wrestling fans? This is your boy, Mr. TEAMBRINGIT, coming from WCC Wrestling Commentary Central on this cold Sunday on our first WCC Aftermath show for 2015. We just got done watching the Royal Rumble of 2015. And for the most part, I would say it was a very exciting pay-per-view. That's until we got to the end of the pay-per-view. So we're just going to do some highlights, whatever. We're going to get some fan reactions since the show is about the fans. We're not going to do like we usually do. Like we usually just go one by one and talk about the matches. We're just going to talk about both the highlight of the pay-per-view so we don't bore the fuck out of y'all. So I would say the highlight of the night, obviously, was the WWE Championship match. Triple threat with Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. That match, I would say, candidate of match of the year. I have seen so much intensity, so much violence in one match. It really blew me out the wire. What y'all guys think? Doesn't matter who goes.
I happen to like it. I think that it was terrific, and I also think it was great that for once we did not end up with the same predictable John Cena win like everybody thought was going to happen. I think that, too, with the way Brock Lesnar left Monday Night Raw, it also kind of opened the door, too, where he could do kind of a pseudo babyface. So I think this was just kind of the start of him being able to do that.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, man, like I said, I think kudos to them adding Seth Rollins to the match because, you know, everybody worried, like, kind of like, why he's being interfered, why he's being added to the match. But actually, he was the wild card of the match, and he was basically the highlight of the match. Like, he gave all the high spots that took a lot of bumps as well as Cena, you know, and he, you know, brought a different element to the whole triple threat match. And I give a lot of credit to Seth Rollins because, you know, he put his best effort into the match, even though he didn't win, but he still, you know, it still was a good match in itself. So, you know, now it looks like he really is going to be a main player in this in the WWE for future years to come.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, BJ, because if there was one match that Seth Rollins really needed to really bring his A game, it was this match. This match was pretty much the biggest match of his career, and he really brought it tonight. He surprised the fuck out of me. I mean, he really, really brought it tonight. He really did. I thought that he was going to really take it. There was a couple times I thought he was going to take it, so. Yeah.
I think he actually added a little more excitement to the match versus, I mean, let's face it, a lot of us watched the John Cena matches, and, you know, I asked people what they think of them, and they said that they kind of get sick of seeing the same old, you know, move set. So, and I think this is definitely where Seth Rollins, you know, stepped up, and he really showed what he could do. I mean, to me, a lot of this was like a throwback to his indie scene days, where, you know, he was very wild, very, you know, very high risk taker. So I think this really opened the doors for people to see that, you know, he's a very talented person.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris, because I kept telling you back in, a year or two ago, I was telling you, hey, man, look at these FCW videos I'm posting on WCC of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. These two cats at LCW are going to be the future stars in WWE.
You know, even though that Vince McMahon, he claims that he doesn't, you know, care for, you know, indie stars or whatever, but yet he keeps coming to these, you know, we keep seeing them. So it's good that he's bringing in this new blood because this is the future of the WWE. And, you know, Seth Rollins, he really surprised me tonight. You know, now everybody know that I was very vocal about him at first, that, you know, his promo skills is not very good. but he really shows in his ability that this man can be a future WWE champion. Now, go ahead.
I just actually wanted to touch on that too. You know, I just heard him mention Dean Ambrose. I think the big thing that a lot of us look at with Dean Ambrose too is when you look at the history of Dean Ambrose with like CZW and a lot of the more hardcore companies. You know, for years I always heard the same thing, and that was that people that did death matches weren't real wrestlers. But I think that him going into the WWE again, too, like you said, Vince McMahon's looking at indie stars, but I think it also brought a lot of truth that just because people do death matches or they do hardcore matches does not mean that they can't, hang with the big boys.
Right.
I think also Triple H is the one that's really bringing all the, ROH and all the other independent, market wrestlers into the into the full front, because I think WWE likes to have their own created guys, and Vince like the big muscle guys, and that's why they always trying to change it up, because now you don't have to be the biggest guy to make the biggest impact.
Exactly. I mean, look at Shawn Michaels, look at Chris Benoit. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not supposed to talk about that. What about Rey Mysterio? He's the
Daniel Bryan, man.
Daniel Bryan, right? He won last year. He beat Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton all in one night. That is an amazing accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see Daniel Bryan win the Royal Rumble this year. I would love it, but like you said, B-Dub, that he just came back from an injury, a serious, life-threatening injury. Unfortunately, he
career-threatening, yeah.
So
well, the big reason why I would never have predicted Daniel Bryan to win it would be because that's exactly what everybody expected. Was,
right.
The guy came back from a neck injury. The fans love him, so hey, let's throw him right as the Royal Rumble winner. And let's face it, I know a lot of the fans booed Roman Reigns, but there would be a certain boo factor for fans as far as if Daniel Bryan would have won, it would have been just it's too predictable.
But see, if you look at it, Chuck, that when we talk about WrestleMania is our Super Bowl. You got to have the biggest players. It's just like a chess match. You got to have all your players in strategic positions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your highest players. Of course, you got to have your pawns. You got to have your knights. You got to have your queens. You got to have them all. You know what I'm saying? In order to have a successful show. That's what I look at WrestleMania as. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I see it on paper, but I can't visual that this is going to be a good main event unless there's going to be a third piece to the puzzle. Now, Fastlane is in about, next month in a couple of weeks or whatever?
On the 22nd of February.
Right. So it's a possibility that there could be a third piece added to the equation. But I really don't know because it's still a lot of uncertainty because we've seen a glimpse of WrestleMania, but we haven't seen all of it yet. So
right, and
I'm not going to, I am disappointed, that, Reigns did win, even though it was predictable. It was pushing it since last year. But I really want Roman to really up his game because if Seth Rollins can do that shit, he's been upping his game for months. Roman, he got to up his game too because, like I said, if he's going to be the next John Cena, then the first thing he needs to do is stop saying sucking and succotash or whatever. Whoever the fuck is writing his damn promos,
I mean, that's Vince. Vince is writing his promos.
Well, actually, it's a team of writers. But now, let me ask you this. What, you guys would know the history of, like, for example, like how they put the history of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and stuff like that. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I was going to be a writer for this main event, the way I would be looking at it, it would be here's Brock Lesnar, here's Roman Reigns. There's been talk for months about Brock Lesnar possibly going back to UFC. Hey, let him drop the title to Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that stops a cash-in with Seth Rollins at the end of that. And now think about it this magnitude. These two guys, as it's been put out there, hate each other. Now think about the WrestleMania where Seth Rollins would cash in that briefcase right then and there, because he basically has till the end of WrestleMania to do it. Well, he cashes it in right at that main event, and then we end up with Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for that title.
Right, and I thought about that too on my way here, on my way home. I thought about that as well. He said that let's kill two birds with one stone. Let's have Roman, have his little, moment of the little 15 minutes of fame, and then turn around and then just take it away from him, and then just give it to Seth Rollins.
And you got to think about it right now, Seth Rollins has the authority role going for him. Not only that, but he's coming off of one of the hottest matches, so far. I mean, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, after you've seen this triple threat championship match, I mean, if you think about it, what do you think the chances are that they could really capitalize and have another match of that magnitude again? It's one of those things, it comes around every so often where there's that one match where you just go like, my God, that was the match. This is one where I think the only reason why I would ever think that would be the end of WrestleMania would be Seth Rollins cashing in is because it would make sense to throw him into a match like this with this kind of a magnitude and to really give him that push up. Because if he goes over on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, then at the same time, you're not going to be disappointed because you're going to go, hey, the guy just lost, but, he had a hell of a match. So it all kind of puzzles together and makes sense after a while.
Okay, in WWE, they'll usually like to wait until the day after WrestleMania because now it's like, okay, we're building up all this, build up to the road to WrestleMania. Okay, now we did it. Now it's like a reset button, like the day after. Because, people now rather watch the Raw after WrestleMania than the actual WrestleMania show sometimes. Because that actually be kind of like the more entertaining crowd interactive show. But, I thought Rollins had to, Money in the Bank. No, he had a whole year to cash in. Like, they don't have to, wait till I do that big moment. And I think if he cashed in on Roman, like, what if Roman's getting booed and Seth cash in on Roman when Seth start getting cheered, or they want to, pull the trigger and make him like a face or something, or what?
Well, it's a bizarre world with the WWE. You got fans like me that chant for the heels. Heels are cool. I'm sorry. It's just, my thing is what Roman Reigns is just, it's not his fault. He's just basically like another John Cena. It's just, he's being built like John Cena, and that's where his legacy is gonna. It's gonna be kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really would rather him, come into his own. I want him to have his own gimmick. He can have that Goldberg gimmick. Like, it's just, he don't have to talk. He don't have to do promos. He can just kill you, and then just walk away and just, you know what I'm saying. That could work for him because I already can tell he is not much of a talker.
No, see, it would have been cool if he wouldn't have lost and he would have won this year Money in the Bank briefcase and turn heel on, and cash in on a face and turn heel and have Paul Heyman as his manager or something.
Right. Now let's talk about what was the weak point of the Royal Rumble? What do you think was like the high and lows of the Rumble itself? I would say that the highest point was seeing Bubba Ray Dudley. That was awesome. That was really awesome. Seeing DDP, he came back. The Boogeyman, that was a little bit of a throw-off. I was like, okay, that's what's up. The Rock, he came back at the end of the Rumble. That was pretty much expected. We just didn't know if he was going to actually be a surprise participant or if he was just going to interfere with a match. Like, we don't know if he was going to, because, he still got unfinished business with Brock Lesnar, so I would have thought that he would have did something in that match. But I would say that, the lowest points really was the eliminations. The eliminations really just didn't do too much for me. They just, at the end, Kane and Big Show pretty much double-teamed Dolph Ziggler and pretty much all the stars that's hot, like Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler. They pretty much just, double-teamed them, got rid of them, and it was just, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'd have to say the absolute low point, believe it or not, I would have to say it was the Boogeyman. I think especially when you had one of the hottest Raws just beforehand, because I had read in a couple of different places. As a matter of fact, I actually sent the message to a couple people where, for example, with all the hype that X-Pac had on this past Monday Night Raw, they had Mid-Style come in and dress up as him and stuff like that, and there was some hype that he was possibly going to be one of the surprise people. So I'll be honest with you, if I could have changed it, I would have thrown the Boogeyman out of there and put X-Pac in. I think the other low point, too, was, I get it that they were going to eliminate Daniel Bryan, but I just think it should not have been as fast as it was.
Yeah, because, dude, Chuck, it was very, very fast. I thought he was going to be in just as long as Bray Wyatt. I thought he was going to be in there for at least about, 15 minutes. And, Philly is, that's a city that does not mind expressing their opinions. If they don't like something, they will tell you. You know what I'm saying? And
sure,
Daniel
just
Bryan
like
was
Chicago.
in there for 5 minutes? 5-10 minutes?
I give it 10.
Huh?
Yeah, I would have to say, though, really, if they wanted to really build up the high point to the Rumble, let's face it, everybody had the thought and expectation it was either going to be Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns. If I really wanted to end that Rumble the right way, and again, I have to look at it from, if I was writing this, I would have kept it out until the end. I would have had it where it would have been those two at the end and really had people guessing which way it was going to go. Because the expectation was once Daniel Bryan was eliminated, and was, it was kind of like it was Roman Reigns' day. The high point was, for me, to me personally, and looking at everything, the high point to me was, Dolph Ziggler coming out at the end, hey, what are the chances it could be Dolph Ziggler? Here's a guy who's gotten a lot of push recently. Dean Ambrose, again, there was another one where I'm like, hey, it could be Bray Wyatt. That was another one. I was like, hey, let's throw the odd one in the mix, and maybe that would be it. But the problem I have with this one is that the high point is never exactly the person that won it. I think this was the high point. This was the Royal Rumble, where the high point for somebody was, for example, for me when I was a kid, it was DDP. It was Bubba Ray. That's where the high point for me was that they didn't just throw out some goofy legend out there or some no name that nobody remembers and watch the guy get eliminated in 30 seconds. This was where it was people that you could actually identify with.
Well, if I may say anything, some of those spots could have been easily refilled. And I think a lot of y'all would agree with me if I say Titus O'Neil, for example, who didn't even last, 5 seconds? Somebody else could have been in that spot.
No. Titus should have had more time. The one that really got shifted got snubbed was Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel didn't get to go win.
What really pissed me off, though?
Yeah, Titus O'Neil. The fuck he was doing being, number 28 or 27?
Yeah, see, it was 26. He was 26.
26? Okay. I'm trying to figure out, like, dude, what were you doing in the Rumble? We have not seen you since what? Since Breast Cancer Awareness Week. What are you doing here?
Come on, they had the Bull and the Los Matadors in it last year. I mean, come on.
Actually, it was just the Bull. It was actually just the Bull last year.
Dang,
Yeah, I watched it the other day. It was just the Bull, which was like, what? Okay, let me get this straight. You put a Bull in the damn match, but then, you know what? I can't even deal. I mean, I even agree with Zack Ryder being in the Rumble because, like, hell, he was a big shock to me because nobody seen him in, like, how long? How long we talking? Like months?
Shoot, like 9 months, 3 days, 4 minutes, 14 seconds. No.
And then got eliminated 30 seconds later.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Devon didn't show up, man, because, you know, they were definitely, when he had Bubba Ray come out there and he's getting beat up by the Wyatt family,
you know what?
They were like, we weren't Devon. You know,
I think Devon is going to show up tomorrow.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I marked the fuck out when that music hit. I shit you not. I marked the fuck out when Bubba Ray came out there. I'm like, holy shit. And then when they hit the 3D on the Miz, I'm like, what?
Right, and did the What's Up drop with R-Truth, and you're like, okay.
Right, this is like Devon 2.0. This is hilarious. I said, oh,
right,
wow,
he
Devon
told him to
got
get the table,
now.
too.
Why you call everybody 2.0?
He is a 2.0. Come on now, really? That's what we all.
I mean,
look, everybody. I'm not throwing.
First of all, when was the last time R-Truth was even relevant? When was the last time he was even relevant?
Well, hold on. But see, look, I'm not throwing any cloudy forecasts. I'm not. I don't do that. My thing is this. I'm just saying that if you're gonna do a Devon shit, why don't you have the real Devon come out there? Because I'm sorry, that was kind of an insult to me. That
3D, it was great to see it again, but it just didn't feel the same. It just didn't seem the same.
Yeah, it really didn't seem the same because it just seemed like, you know, I'm like, why in the fuck this 2.0 is being like Devon? I mean, what you gonna do? You gonna put the glasses on and shit and do
you can see how it was fun when they said,
who knows? He might come out there in a camouflage outfit tomorrow. He might come out there with Bubba Ray tomorrow in a camouflage outfit. You might come out there with them glasses on. Don't jinx it. I mean, you already called that they was gonna fuck up the 2 days. You already called that one.
Okay, so what you gonna call R-Truth? You gonna call him Spike Dudley? I mean, no, I'm not.
No, don't call him Spike Dudley. Because he might be the next one that come back. So let's see.
That's how you all feel.
R. Dudley? No, hell no. Ron Dudley. Just use his real name, Ron Dudley.
Ron Dudley, that's hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about some now with The Rock being in Roman Reigns' corner. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But one thing I wanted to touch up on was Rusev versus John Cena. Now it's already in place now that they're gonna fight at WrestleMania. I'm gonna ask you guys.
Wait, it is?
Yeah, they already put the seeds out there already that Rusev is going to face John Cena at WrestleMania. They already put it.
It was only a matter of time before they feed him to Cena and bury him any damn way.
That's what I'm saying. But my thing is this, that he could pull one of the biggest upsets in WrestleMania history by beating John Cena.
Hell,
to be really honest with you, Rusev, he has been undefeated for almost a year now. All the other ones that he faced are pretty much irrelevant. If you beat the top dog in the WWE, which is John Cena, you will pull a big-ass upset, and you automatically will be in the running for the WWE title. So my question to you guys is, do you think it's fair?
They have been pushing them on TV.
Yeah, that's true. But do you think it's fair to feed Rusev, who pretty much had one of the biggest runs in his career so far, feed him to John Cena and get buried?
No.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair at all. I mean, why build him up just to feed him to your face of the company? Why just build him up, to be this strong, big threat, and then you feed him to Mr. Captain America, John Cena, and, you know, enemy vanquished, and now he's like Bray Wyatt, just barely in the main event card, but he ain't going to ever get that same momentum. He ain't going to ever get that same momentum back.
Well, at least it's not like Vladimir Kozlov, you know, that had that undefeated.
Oh, yeah, way better than Vladimir Kozlov.
The mediocrity. Yeah,
that was a lot of shit.
You know, I almost asked who the hell was Vladimir Kozlov, then I had to remember. Because the last time he was relevant was when he was wearing them tighty whitey on SmackDown when Triple H was burying his ass. Then he went to ECW and then followed William Regal's ass, and then ended up teaming with Santino, and boom, end of his career.
I'll have to ask Chris to give you some good Kool-Aid.
This could be another one of those. This could be another one of those times where we would see a switch because, again, you put John Cena against a guy like Rusev, automatically the person's ideal is going to be John Cena goes over. I mean, let's face it. A couple of years ago,
like he needs to go over anymore.
Hold on, let him finish. Go ahead.
Sorry.
What I'm saying is that I think what they need to be doing though is letting these guys like John Cena actually give these younger cats a push.
Right, exactly.
That's how I look at it. Again, let's look at the Seth Rollins match from today. You know, you got Brock Lesnar, who his schedule is so unpredictable. This is a guy who today he's in WWE. Tomorrow he could be like, you know what, fuck CM Punk, I'm going to go to UFC and make my mark before he shows up, ha, ha, ha.
Right.
And then what are we left with? We're left with, but guess what? Seth Rollins got his big push. He got that over on him. That's what needs to be happening is, unlike 20, 30 years ago where everything was Hulk Hogan or where everything was The Rock, let's make it about pushing some of the younger cats up. You know, your Seth Rollins, your Rusev, your Bray Wyatt. Give them the push. You know, because right now, I've been hearing the rumors for a while now. Because again, rumor, but the fan pages out there. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, because it's funny, somebody said, you know, just barely a main eventer. But the rumor I've heard is that they actually wanted to do something where they put Bray Wyatt up against Undertaker.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that
again,
too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, they want Bray Wyatt to do what now?
Wait,
they
so they gonna pull? So they gonna pull Taker out of retirement?
Sure.
No, man, Taker's not really technically in retirement right now. Taker
semi-retired.
Yeah, he's pretty much
that man is just, there's no semi he comes back for one match.
He's taking another
physically he retired. I'm a big fan of Taker. I respect Taker, but I mean, when the streak got ended, I mean, come on. I mean, let the man be in the Hall of Fame all damn ready. Let him be in the Hall of Fame already.
I'm going to be honest with you. I watched the pay-per-views for the streak.
Yeah. Man, and who
wants to see,
who wants to see Undertaker, lose 2 straight years, man? He don't want to get back in the ring and trying to get back in shape. He got by his Just for Men, dye hair to get it just right, come on.
No, that's Kevin Nash. That's Kevin Nash, not Undertaker.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, why do you really want to grow? Why do you, nigga, you like fucking 45 and you already trying to put some gray hair on your beard and shit, and I'm just like, really?
Wait, they trying to put gray hair on? What?
I'm just saying, you putting all this white hair and shit trying to look like Santa Claus and shit 2.0. I mean, no. That's just, no.
Doing this 2.0.
I told you he always said 2.0.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got Kevin Nash looking like a wizard. Then you got Undertaker looking like he Merlin or some shit, doing some magical powers or some shit.
What about Bret Hart?
Hold on.
Was Bret Hart doing that too, or is he just that damn old?
No, he's just that damn.
Bret Hart's just that damn.
Yeah.
But it is funny that you referred to Kevin Nash as the Wizard, because if I remember correctly, one of his first characters in WCW
was Oz.
Oh, the irony, and it is so damn funny.
Yes, the tea and the shade.
It could have been worse. He could have played Super Shredder again.
True. Yeah, that's true. And probably broke another kneecap, but that's none of my business.
Click, 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 click.
So, before we end the show, let's talk about what happened. We talked about what was going to talk about before John Cena. Oh, The Rock. Yes.
Yeah, The Rock.
The Rock. So, what do you think what do you guys think about The Rock angle and all of this shit? You know what I'm saying? Getting in the authorities' business or whatever. Terrible. And why? And what do you think?
I personally think The Rock should be Roman Reigns' promo coach.
No.
He needs to.
Let me put it this way. This is where I think this is where everybody, with The Rock being involved, I think this is where everybody's going to get upset because, let's face it, we all know one thing is for sure. If you look at The Rock's family, look at them as a whole, every one of these people has been in a championship spot at one point in their career or not. So the way that this plays out and looks is that The Rock essentially came down there, stood next to another one of his family members, stuck his arm in the air, because right now what the fanboys are getting upset about is they go, oh, this is what happened. Now The Rock used his influence to push Roman Reigns into this title picture well before he was ready. So by him running down there, all he did was just cement that whole thing. Now, what do we end up with? Roman Reigns 2-3 weeks ago, you know, he was the highlight. Everybody was cheering for him. They thought he was the greatest thing in the world. Now he wins the Royal Rumble. Now here comes The Rock to save him, and everybody's booing him, and they hate it because why? They don't look at it like, you know, and let's face it, we all know the sport is, you know, it's sports entertainment. Okay, we all know that it's pre-scripted, everything else.
Right.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, what we want is, we as working class people, we want that underdog. We want that person that we can identify with to win. We don't want this person where it's like a running legacy, because then all that basically sends the message out there to people is if you are related to this guy, you are a champion. Do you see that?
Right.
It does not give, like, for example, the reason why everybody likes Daniel Bryan looks like the guy who could be living, you know, next door to you and has a factory job. You look at Roman Reigns, what does Roman Reigns look like? He looks like a poster boy for WWE. That's not what anybody wants anymore.
Yeah, he looks like a guy that grew up in Miami or some shit. Like, you know, like they got like a whole bunch of money and like.
Let's say he has the look, the ideal look that they want. They said they want this guy to have that look, and they said they wish that he had The Rock's charisma.
Right, and see, the thing is, you can't have it both ways. Like, you know, Rock comes every once in a lifetime. You're not going to have another Rock. Like, you're not going to have another Stone Cold. Stone Cold didn't have that
Never.
look. You know what I'm saying? But Stone Cold was a badass. He brought asses to the seats. He identified what people were thinking. People hate their fucking bosses at their job. You have a perfect star right there. Roman Reigns you can't identify with him because, first of all, the nigga can't talk. He can't talk at all. If you look at somebody like Dolph Ziggler, okay, you know, decent in the ring. He, you know what I'm saying, his promos is not really up to par, but, I mean, still.
Hey, it's gotten better. I tell you, it gotten better than first.
It gotten better. We can still relate to him. But then going back to Roman Reigns, you can't really relate to Roman Reigns that much.
Well, the problem with
but at the same time, it's kind of like you don't know his backstory. You don't know, you know, it's no character development or who his character is. You know, it needs to create more layers to him, you know, he needs to go through the journey.
It's not even that. This falls back to, it starts to turn into like what they call the baby machine, where it's like, you know, you look at Roman Reigns, you know who he's related to, so automatically you think that, okay, this person has a kid, okay, how many years is it going to be before this kid has a WWE contract? And it's happened with a lot of other people's kids and their grandkids and their great-grandkids, where and the problem is that as a fan, you start to get the mentality that these people didn't work to earn it. You know what I mean? They just showed up and, hey, this is who I'm related to, so now you have to give me a job. And now what do we end up with? You know, because as a matter of fact, somebody said the same thing about the Usos. They're like, oh, well, the Usos are, you know, yeah, but the Usos have been tag team champions how many times? You know,
they've been tag team champions for like, what, twice?
Yep, twice. They're in the second reign right now.
Right, and look how long it took them to even get the opportunity for their first shot.
Correct.
Yeah, it took them like a good 3 years.
At the same time, they were, Rock did vouch for them to get a push. He did have some kind of influence behind that shit. But it did take him a long time to become tag team champions, though. So,
right, but
they also had Umaga's influence, too.
Yeah.
Their Uncle Umaga. Okay, he wasn't as big as The Rock, I get that, but he was under his
he did get a
mentorship.
Shot, though.
Yeah, he the one brought them in.
Let me ask you this. If Umaga was still alive today, where would he be?
He'll be like, I would say, I wouldn't say like main event status. I wouldn't say that. I would say like upper in the mid card, he'll be up in there.
He was same place with Big Show and Mark Henry at right now. That's probably where he be at.
Sure,
same place as Big Show and Mark Henry. Bunch of heel turns.
It wouldn't be nothing more than that. It would probably be a mid-card spot.
Essentially, this is what I've said for a number of years because I've watched it. Essentially, what you end up with is this, and I can say this, is, you got guys who they go to, for example, kid, he watches this, he wants to be just like this guy, and essentially, he goes to, wrestling school, he gets trained, he works on indies for a number of years, hopes to get discovered, hopes to make it to, the next level and everything else, and sometimes that doesn't work. The problem, essentially, what people have when something like this happens is that it kind of shows you don't have to work to earn it because, again, and this is exactly what I said with Roman Reigns winning this was. And you guys have all touched on it, whether it's his mic skills or anything else. What has he actually done that he should have that spot?
He also received favor from Triple H too, because he was the reason why he was with the Shield. Because everybody else wanted Cassius Ohno to be with Self and Ambrose, but Triple H said no. I'm gonna take him out for the man.
What happened to Cassius Ohno anyway?
But if you look at out of the three, who actually were the outbreaking superstars? Now we all thought that it wasn't going to be Seth. Seth was actually at the bottom of the crop, but that turned out to be false. This man is actually a main eventer. Dean Ambrose is right behind him, and then you got Roman Reigns.
See, but at the same time, it's good that it's rarely they have a team or a faction where when you split up the team and they all three do have an opportunity to become stars, right, to become stars. Not usually when the team break up, one, ascends to the top and the other two just, fall to the mediocrity, whatever. Right. But this is the first time where when they break up, all three have an opportunity to make a name for themselves.
I mean, and that's very impressive. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Very impressive. But at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying, how the fuck these two is ready for the main event, and this guy over here, it seems like, okay, he was a breakout superstar last year in the Royal Rumble. I granted be that, I get that part. But then in the latter part of 2014, it's like you had this match, you beat Randy Orton, you get injured, your boss is hurting and shit, you're trying to repair them, then you come back, and now you getting this major push, you having like promos like from like Buzz Bunny and Tweety Show talk about some damn suffering succotash and shit, and now you won the Royal Rumble. What the fuck did you do for me lately? That's all I'm just saying.
See, and that's essentially what I say is the problem is that the message it essentially sends to people is it's not how hard you work, it's not how hard how hard you work on your character. It's just how much do they personally like you. And to me, it's just like I said. I look at the list of these guys, and I think to myself, for example, somebody said Rusev earlier, and I said, oh my God, I'm like that's Rusev versus Brock at WrestleMania, and I was like, what a stupid idea. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? It actually isn't a bad idea because here's a guy who he came in. People are going to hate him, but at the same time, he's got this tough character where it's like nobody can stop him. But then you got Brock Lesnar, that's another person with the same, tough character. And I thought about, I'm like, that's not a bad match.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dean Ambrose, I said too early. Bray Wyatt, another one. I said, and this is again where when I said the Undertaker rumors coming into play with Bray Wyatt, I said that's what essentially Bray Wyatt needs. He doesn't need to beat John Cena because here's the problem. Everybody now thinks to them, says, oh, if this guy's ever going to get a push, he has to beat John Cena. No, how about if let him beat Triple H, let him beat The Undertaker, let him beat this guy, you know what I'm saying? Let him beat, anybody that's not the company poster boy.
Mm-hmm. That's what they did with Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. Now, that's exactly. I mean, let's face it. They did it with Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan came in, here was a guy who had a match with Triple H, and you stood behind him because then at the end you thought to yourself there was no way in hell that this guy was going to beat Batista and Randy.
Well, technically he beat John Cena before he beat Triple H.
Yeah, he sure did. He did beat John Cena before he beat Triple H. Clean, if I may add. He beat him cleanly.
True, but the push with the Daniel Bryan character, if you really think about the biggest push that this character had, it was with the whole storyline that involved Randy Orton and the authority figures. I mean, the John Cena thing to me, I just kind of go like, huh, what? Oh, okay, I guess it happened. When I think of Daniel Bryan, I think of it as, again, here's the guy that lives next door to you, who has a factory job, who he broke the glass ceiling and he went right to the top. You know what I mean? That's the attachment I see with that character, and I think that's what essentially made him so popular. That's what I see when I look at, like, a Dean Ambrose. I say, okay, put this guy up against, a Triple H, or put him up against somebody who, just has that hard legacy where, when he goes over, you're just going to go like, man, he went over on this guy. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, anybody will tell you, if a veteran's going to let you go over on them, it's because they respect something you do. I mean, we've all heard these stories where these guys, they were supposed to go over on somebody and they didn't. Because the veteran guy or the two was just like, I'm not going to give this guy a push. Screw this guy. And that's essentially where we always hear the Triple H burying stories.
Where the show.
As soon as you said that I'm not going to go over on this guy, why was the first name that popped in my head Hulk Hogan?
He's another motherfucker.
Hulk Hogan was a guy who was infamous for it.
Oh, yeah. So, so I wasn't the only one that was thinking that's his name?
Not at all. Hulk was up there, too. He had a show.
Wasn't Kevin Nash the same way, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was another motherfucker. Scott Hall, he was just there just to be there.
That's another question. Can somebody please answer me, why in the holy fuck did Scott Hall not, Razor Ramon, whatever the fuck you want to call him, why the fuck did the character playing Razor Ramon did not ever become WWF champion? Can someone please answer me that? Because he had the look, had the bad guy persona, but never reached the damn big one. He never won the big one.
I think the problem was with that, I think he left the WWE a little bit too soon. I think that was his own fault. Because
he's one of many.
I think it was one point in time they was going to push him as WWE champion. They was going to push him. But he left.
That's a big what if. That's a what if moment. That's a what if, right?
That's a what if.
He's a what if. Who else is a what if?
But then see at the same time when he went to WCW, he stayed there for a majority, pretty much for the rest of his career, and still didn't become, WCW champion.
But this is
which is still shocking to me. That's still beyond me. Like,
Man,
but then again, I forget
saying,
it's Hogan. I forgot it was Hogan though. It was Hogan hogging the spotlight most of the time.
But
I get it
he's not
between.
really complaining because he's making good money. You know, if you're getting all those extra zeros in your paycheck, you say, well, belt not that bad.
Shit. Well, I mean, yeah. When you put it that way, then yeah. When you put it that way, hell, fuck it. I'm making all this money. I don't even have to win the damn big one.
Just like Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston wants to be a fucking coon all his life. He wants to have that main event spot. No offense, and I mean coon with the K, by the way. I'm just saying.
I know, but see, I lost kind of.
He wants to have those moments, at the Royal Rumble, at WrestleMania, jumping off a ladder, having a Royal Rumble moment. I'm a lackluster in real life and shit.
Lackluster move this year.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I kind of lost a little bit of respect for Kofi, and I say it because, like, Chris, I'm picking up the phone because you called that shit. When you said it was going to fuck up that stable, they royally screwed the hell out of it. Because,
you know what? I'm not going to use up all of this air time to talk about New Day. Because New Day it's trash, and I keep
I was going to stay on Kofi. I was going to stay on Kofi. I was just going to stay on Kofi because they should have just let him just, be Kofi.
They should just let them be themselves because all that shit right there, coming out there looking like they some, Jedi Knights and shit, no.
Or preachers.
No.
They look like they preachers.
What do y'all think about Ascension, though?
Ascension is
trash.
Yeah,
I mean, Ascension is trash, really?
Yeah, I would say Ascension
Please
is
explain.
Trash. Please explain? Okay, let's see. You come out there, you looking like Kratos from what was it, God of War or some shit?
Kratos! Wow!
First of all, you are trash on the mic. Second of all, you haven't even won the tag team titles, and you up there talking about Demolition and LOD. Who the fuck do you think you are? And I understand you're trying to get some heat that part, but you have not done anything in the ring to tell me that, okay, you need to be talking all this shit. I heard about them being in NXT. I heard them being okay in NXT. But at the same time, you coming out there looking like Kratos and shit from God of War and then thinking that you running shit. No, I don't think so. You need to do more than that, buddy.
And shouldn't they be trying to go after the tag team champions rather than diss legends any damn way?
I think what the WWE is trying to do is they're trying to build them up. But I think that's the wrong way of doing it.
You want to build them up? This is exactly where the first thing. There's two things I said that they need to do to build these guys up. The number one thing is that first off, and I don't know what you guys personally think of it, but the number one thing I thought when I saw the Ascension was I said that has got to be the stupidest look to begin with. And on top of it, that little finishing maneuver at the end, I said that has got to be one of the weakest displays I'd ever seen.
Their finishing move is kind of weak. They call it the Fall of Man.
The Fall of Man? I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
what is it,
their name is their name is the Ascension, and their finishing move is the Fall of Man. So I'm guessing they're rising up. It's some kind of rising above bullshit. I don't know. It's like they're above everybody.
Put it this way.
It looks like, you know what they should do is they should turn into playing in traffic because it seems like a collision.
Oh, no. I mean, they were more efficient in NXT, man. They had a better theme music, better entrance. They just did like a 180.
They got the same theme that they had in NXT. That's the same theme that they had in NXT.
Nah, man, they had a different one like back in 2012 when they were beating up the Usos.
Oh, 2012.
Yeah.
2012. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see. This was before the network came out. I didn't really catch on with NXT in 2012. Plus, I was in Texas most of the time. That's a whole different story for me. I'm gonna look that up though.
But everybody, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're gonna have to do this again because I had a blast, even for the first WCC Aftermath for 2015. But we gotta do this again tomorrow, though. So everybody, thank you so much for coming on the show. Fans, thank you for supporting WCC. We definitely gonna bring our A game this year. This week on the WCC Network, we're going to have Sex Battles. Also, we're going to bring back the WCC Uncensored show for Raw. Hopefully, Raw does not disappoint. Otherwise, yes, your boy Team Bringet is going to be ranting again. So, Chuck,
I'll be waiting for that. Ranting.
Guys. Where can they find you at? I know you run ICW, right, in Milwaukee, right? I'm assuming.
That's correct.
Okay. So where can they find you?
You can find us on Facebook at Insane Championship Wrestling, and we will have a couple other pages coming up, which I'll make available to you guys also. But you can put Insane Championship Wrestling on Facebook, and take it right to the page. For all you guys in the Milwaukee area, don't forget to this Friday. So you guys don't want to miss that one.
Cool beans. And everybody, you can find me on Facebook at Chris vs. Team Bringet on Facebook.com, on Twitter, Mr. Team Bringet on Twitter. B-Dub, do you have any social sites where they can find you?
Nah, just say, hey, go follow WCC on Facebook, the hottest wrestling interactive group of all time.
Thank you, sir. Spike, got any shout-outs, promotions?
Well, no promotions. I mean, I'm in big-time wrestling, but, hell, shout-out to y'all guys for having this show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, everybody, we will see y'all tomorrow night for WCC Uncensored immediately after Raw at 10:30 Central, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, and we will see y'all later. Good night, everybody.